Hello again, everyone. This is the fifth in my series of videos for the Dallas Statement. If you haven't watched the others, I hope you will do so. The Dallas Statement contains 14 articles. I plan to do a video for each of them and post 1 or 2 videos a week. Let's jump right into Article 3. I will read it for you now. It states, "We affirm that since He is holy, righteous, and just, God requires those who bear His image to live justly in the world. This includes showing appropriate respect to every person and giving to each one what he or she is due. We affirm that societies must establish laws to correct injustices that have been imposed through cultural prejudice. We deny that true justice can be culturally defined or that standards of justice that are merely socially constructed can be imposed with the same authority as those that are derived from Scripture. We further deny that Christians can live justly in the world under any principles other than the biblical standard of righteousness. Relativism, socially constructed standards of truth or morality, and notions of virtue and vice that are constantly in flux cannot result in authentic justice." The formal name for the Dallas Statement is the Statement on Social Justice and the Gospel. Article 3 in the Dallas Statement is titled Justice. Thus, it appears central to the entire statement. As with Article 2, the authors listed 5 sets of verses supporting Article 3. Please follow along with me as I review each of them now. The first verse I want to review is Genesis chapter 18, verse 19. "For I have chosen him, that he may command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing righteousness and justice, so that the Lord may bring to Abraham what he has promised him." This verse is in the middle of a story about the Lord and 2 angels appearing to Abraham. Abraham had a meal cooked for them, and they ate. As they got up to leave, Abraham started walking with them. The Lord then stopped to tell Abraham what he was about to do, to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Here we see that Abraham was to, quote, "command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord," unquote. How were they supposed to keep the way of the Lord? By doing righteousness and justice. What would be the result for Abraham? That the Lord may bring to Abraham what he has promised him. This verse is very clear that the way of the Lord involves doing righteousness and justice. Second, let's look at Isaiah chapter 61, verse 8. "For I, the Lord, love justice. I hate robbery and wrong. I will faithfully give them their recompense, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them." This verse tells us the Lord loves justice. It also indicates He hates what is wrong. Many people in today's culture call good evil and evil good. The justice we are to do is God's justice. Let's move on to the third verse in support of Article 3. It is Micah chapter 6, verse 8. "He has told you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God." I'm recording a separate video that deals specifically with this verse, so I won't discuss it in detail here. Suffice it to say that the Lord does want us to do justice. However, doing justice is in no way a requirement for salvation. Such standards of justice are socially constructed and not biblical. Watch my other video for details. For the fourth verse, in this case a set of verses, let me read Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 through 19. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not an iota, not a dot will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Therefore, whoever relaxes one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. These verses are part of the Sermon on the Mount. Verse 17 tells us 2 times that Christ did not come to abolish the law. Instead, he came to fulfill the law. In the Old Testament, the law dealt with what a person did or did not, could or could not do. The New Testament takes the law much further and gets into the inward man. The law is not just about actions, but also about thoughts and intentions. So in effect, rather than the law being relaxed, it is actually strengthened. The 5th and final verse in support of Article 3 we will cover is Romans 3, verse 31. Do we then overthrow the law by this faith? By no means. On the contrary, we uphold the law. This is similar to what we just read in Matthew about Christ not coming to abolish the law. That is undeniably true. And we are not to overthrow the law, but to uphold it. Cultural norms don't hold the same importance or authority as Scripture. We will consider that more in our next video. The next article in the Dallas Statement is titled God's Law. It deals with what is and what is not God's law. I think it is closely related to this article, so I plan to post its video very soon. Thanks again for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, I hope you will give it a thumbs up so others may more easily have access to it. I also hope you will watch other videos in this series as well, and other videos I am publishing. I greatly appreciate you taking time to watch and listen. Thanks for coming with me on this journey of learning about Christian creeds, confessions, and statements of faith. Until next time, God bless you.